Bikertv is brought to you by Parts Canada and Drag Specialties. We support the sport. Metzler ME880 Marathon. What Bikertv rides on. The Dealey Motorcycle Exhibition, Vancouver, BC. Welcome to Bikertv. By bikers, for bikers. This week on Bikertv, the first annual Puppy Memorial Ride. We're back at Leamington, Ontario flat track racing. We're back in the Maritimes for Atlanticade. But first, we're at the GPRC for Tech Tips with Wally.
Hi, welcome to Bikertv Tech Tips with Wally. This week I thought we'd talk about something that all of our Harleys have now, and some people kind of are a bit mysterious to some people. They're not sure what they are, what they do, and that's the O2 sensor. We have two O2 sensors in our bikes. We have one in the front cylinder, or the rear cylinder, located up close to the cylinder head, and we have one in the front cylinder right about in this area that's located up close to the cylinder head also. They're screwed into the exhaust system, and when the oxygen enters the inside of the sensor, there's a reaction that takes place, and it actually creates a small electrical current. In our case, they're narrow band sensors, so we have a narrow band that it can control. O2 sensors are very sensitive to certain chemicals, like for instance silicone, and you know that acidic smell you get from silicone. It's actually that is actually what will destroy the sensor. So even though you're not working maybe with silicone on this particular bike, if somebody was working with silicone in the room, you could still damage the sensor. We have to be more careful now. We have to make sure that any of the chemicals that we use in the shop and around the bikes are O2 sensor safe. We're creating a small voltage, as I said, with the chemical reaction with the oxygen that's coming into the sensor. And we have a computer that's operating the fuel system on the motorcycle itself. So it'll look at the voltage coming back from the O2 sensor. It'll look at the table to see what that voltage should be. If the voltage is off a little bit, it may add a little more fuel, being open the injector for a bit longer. It may close injector a little bit sooner, and that's how it actually uses the injector to adjust the amount of fuel that it's adding to the air that's coming in. And usually what will happen is it'll be above, below, above, below, above, below, but the average will be what we're shooting for, what the target is. Another interesting thing that takes place with motorcycles, with our bikes that have O2 sensors, is sometimes the system will have to compensate to run correctly, and when that takes place, it will remember the changes that it had to make. Now, an 06 motorcycle will make those changes, but the problem is once you turn your key off, it'll forget it. So when you start up again, it has to relearn it. 07 and later will actually remember it. The sensors that we have in these early motorcycles, like this 06 for example, it has to be located up close to the cylinder head because it needs the heat. It has to come up to a certain temperature before it actually starts to work. These new mini sensors that we'll find in the touring bikes are located a little bit, they can locate a little bit further away from the temperature of the cylinder head because they're heated sensors. So these will actually start working a little bit quicker than the old non-heated style sensors. Can you change an O2 sensor yourself if you think there's a problem with it? You probably can. There's some special tools involved. There's a special socket that you'll need. So you're going to be very careful that you don't damage any of the wiring, any of the connectors, or the O2 sensor itself. Sometimes the old ones don't come out that easy because they've been living in the exhaust system for a while. The new ones have anti-seize on them when you get them. Yeah, you probably could change it yourself, but you probably should take it to your retailer to get done. If you do a small change to your motorcycle, it's like maybe an air cleaner and a mild set of mufflers, you know, something adaptive learning will probably tune the bike for you. If you do a major change like cylinder heads and exhaust systems and, you know, maybe you know, an aftermarket exhaust system, change your bore size or your stroke or whatever, at that point your bike is going to have to probably be tuned with something like Super Tuner, so you'll have to take it into a shop and have them do it for you.
After the break, the first annual Puppy Memorial Ride. Closed captioning by Hog Tunes. Audio solutions for the Great American Cruiser.
We're out here doing a ride for Puppy, raise money for cancer. Actually met him 13 years ago today. A friend of ours had died on his bike, Scott Cook, and Puppy put together a bunch of guys to go ride in his funeral. It was the first time I actually got to get with guys on bikes, and been riding ever since, and it was all because of Puppy. You know, he was a big supporter of everybody. If, you know, somebody needed help, he was out there for them.
In the morning when I wake up.
Tell us a story about Puppy.
He was my boyfriend. I think it was in grade 4 or 5. He had a crush on me. At Christmas, we had to do Secret Santa, and he gave me like a dime store nickel and bracelet. I still have it to this day.
Oh.
I don't wear it obviously because I don't want to make Bob jealous, but you know, yeah. But no, he was a good guy. He's missed by all, you know, especially by Jen and the kids and the family. But he's here today. Yeah, he's around in one way or another. He's here. Yeah.
Well, I can feel you in my heart.
So I hear you're putting Puppy's son?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the youngest.
Yeah. And how's it going today?
Good. Good turnout so far, so we can't complain.
Yeah. Lots of bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so what are you up to today? Where are we going, do you know?
First, they're going out to Bob and Boys in Mitchell's Bay, and then they're heading over to Johnny Quest in Thamesville, and the Arlington in Ridgetown. And then coming back here for a meal and see who wins the money.
Puppy was, like they put on Facebook, the greatest man on earth. And he was loved by all. He was a very special friend of mine. I miss him a lot. More than people can imagine.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing?
Yeah. So you're here for the run today for Puppy?
Yep.
Is Puppy a friend of yours?
Yeah, actually it turns out my wife was a cousin of his.
Oh, well, they're
So-
family too.
Yeah, well I've known him since I was younger anyway, so.
Okay. Tell us a story about Puppy. You have anything you want to share with us?
Offhand, great guy. Did a lot for guys that like fellow millwrights and stuff with his union.
Yeah.
And what else can you say? Built some nice bikes, had some nice cars, raised some good kids.
Yeah. So where are we at here?
Mitchell's Bay.
Mitchell's Bay. And do you know where our next stop is?
Next stop will be at Johnny Quest in Thamesville.
Okay.
And after that, we're heading for Ridgetown, back to the doghouse in Tilbury for grub.
All right. Sounds good.
We'll see you there.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
I hear your voice.
Yeah, anytime there was something to do with bikes, he was involved, and he was always there. So, not too many guys like him left around. Gonna miss him, that's for sure.
A good friend of mine, known him for a long time. Guy's always got a smile on his face and always time to talk to people.
How'd your run go today?
Good, very good. Had a good turnout, first year out, very happy.
After the break, Leamington, Ontario flat track racing.
Flat track racing's been around since like the 30s, I believe. They actually started racing on board tracks, the original, and then, you know, they've been racing dirt tracks for at least 50 years. It's just an addiction. Ever since I started, I haven't stopped. Last year was, you know, the first year that I've had a bad injury, and I was out, you know, 2 races into the season, and I lost. You know, I had the Canadian record for national championships. I did 7 consecutively, and then last year, you know, I was out for the whole season with injuries, and this has been my first year back, and, you know, it's just something you just can't seem to stay away from.
Years ago, in the powder puff, when it wasn't fashionable for women to be racing, I raced at Delaware Speedway.
My dad actually got me into flat track racing. He did it as a kid. Welland County is where everything started for me. I actually lived about 5 minutes away from it at the time, and you know, we went out and watched it a few times when I was younger, and then once I was actually, you know, old enough to get going, my dad got me a bike and we went out racing.
Definitely a groupie. I've been coming to see him for years. His grandfather was basically my uncle all growing up, so I've known, well, him since he's been a baby, and his grandfather since I was little.
You know, it's pretty much, the XR has been in it since the 70s, I believe, maybe even the late 60s. And Harley's been a huge founder of dirt track and helping in the development and sinking in a lot of support, money into the sport to make it what it is today. If you ever ride one, it's just one of those things, it's like nothing you've ever ridden before. The first time I swung a leg over one, I just came off the track with a smile. The engines are so fast and they work so well. The traction is just unreal, and you know, once you get them set up right for you, I don't think you'd have any other favorite bike. Racing is expensive no matter what you do, no matter what type of racing it is. You know, if you want to do well, you got to spend the money or have the support. That's been, you know, my benefit is to have Harley backing me. I don't think I'd be able to be where I'm at right now without them. In the past 3 years, they've been my main sponsor, and they've basically gave me the privilege to travel, you know, around the U.S. and, you know, basically chase my goals. I think, you know, flat track racing right now, I mean, we're in a tough time with, you know, the economy and the way everything has been the last few years, but, you know, it's been around forever, and I really don't see it going anywhere. I think it's only going to get better in the years to come with more promoters, and, you know, once everyone gets back up on their feet, you know, I think it's just going to be, it's always going to be around no matter where you go. Get out and try it, because you get hooked once you start, and you know, once you get into it, be prepared to spend some bucks, because you're not going to want to stop.
After the break, we're back in the Maritimes for Atlanticade.
Hello, I'm Sharon Ann Eldridge from Eldridge's here in St. John. And we're getting set to ride on down to Atlanticade here at 3 o'clock. So the bikes are rolling in and we're quite excited to be going down there. And it's a beautiful day here in St. John.
We're on our way to St. Andrews. To the Atlanticade.
Yes.
Woohoo!
We've got a very large biker community in St. John. There are a lot of bikes here, a lot of Harley-Davidsons here in the city. Big biker community. Everybody loves their motorcycles and like to get out on the road. A lot of women riders actually, and that keeps growing every year.
Atlanticade, St. Andrews, great place to be. I started riding in 1978.
I like to be able to go fast. I don't like to go fast, but I like to be able to.
Well, Eldridge's, we've been in business for about 25 years. Been at this location for just around 10 or so, and we sell Harley and Honda as well. So, yeah, no, it's we've been around for a long time. Have a good group of customers, and we enjoy being here and enjoy the business.
A lot of people are afraid of bikes, but it's because they don't understand motorcycles. And most motorcycle riders, they have to be alert and aware of their surroundings because there are things that can happen whether you're in a car or on a bike. So really, the risks are the same, right? The only thing is on a bike, you're better aware because you can see a lot better than when you're sitting in a vehicle. The thing is, you have the base here, which is a base Gation, which is the biggest army base in the Commonwealth. So a lot of people either train here or come here temporarily, and they end up joining either a chapter or just driving around.
Great group of people working here. They all really enjoy their job and come to work and have fun. They like dealing with the people, and the majority of them are motorcyclists themselves. So they love the sport and they love the brand. So I think it comes out in their personalities, I guess, and their attitude.
I'm here for the Bikertv run at 3 o'clock to go down the Atlanticade on my my Harley. My daughter says it's a boy bike, but I say it's a girly bike.
Atlanticade, I participated when it first started in Moncton, and then it moved to St. Andrews, and so I like to participate in all the local rallies. And yeah, there's a lot of nice riding in that area too. So St. Andrews is really a nice spot.
Going with a bunch of friends. It's going to be a great time. Bernice is not a rider, she's a hang-on.
Well, I have an 09 Springer, Screaming Eagle Springer, and I've ridden that for a couple of years, and I love it. Yeah, it's a nice bright yellow.
Well, it's an 07. This is my second year with it. Got it from Toys, and no problems as of yet, and I love it. I had an 03 before, an 03 anniversary, and then I went to the Heritage, and I really, really enjoy it.
This is a Screaming Eagle edition. So most of the chrome was on it when I got it. I changed the breather and put the higher bars on it. We just upgraded the clutch, put a Barnett Scorpion clutch in it. And the tuner, we put a Thunder Max auto tune in it. And a set of True Dual Thunder headers. There's no replacement for displacement. And 110 was good. I took a 110 out and put a 120 in, just so I'm that much ahead of it.
Enjoy your riding and keep the two rubbers on the road, eh? Keep it safe.
Last night, I was out on the town. I was looking for thrills, but there was none to be found.
Next week on Biker TV, we're at the GPRC for Tech Tips with Wally. And we're riding with Jen in Merritt, BC. And we're back at Leamington, Ontario Flat Track Racing. Be in the Biker TV Show and Shine. East, Cape Breton Bike Fest, Sydney, Nova Scotia. West, Sturgis North, Salmon Arm, BC. Central, the Bikers Reunion, New Liskeard, Ontario. Who rides Canada's coolest bike?
We should have met years ago when we were younger. Live life from a storybook to fill virtue's hunger. Running wild and living free, riding high on that carousel. So my love could grow for you by the sea at Cape